Coraline is one of the few children's films that gets better the older we get. As a kid, the story is simple: be careful what you wish for. For adults, the movie is filled with powerful psychological messages. Laika Studios shows the dangers of gaslighting, manipulation, and abuse. Demonstrating these ideas on screen is a powerful way to spread awareness about the harms of toxic relationships. Othermother's character represents narcissistic personality disorder. She doesn't care about the feelings of others. Coraline is a toy to play with and then discard. Even her conceptualization of Otherworld is centered around self-gratification. Whenever someone veers off the path, they are punished heavily. The human-like qualities of our antagonist add layers of storytelling. On the surface, Othermother appears to be a kinder, more caring version of her real mom. But narcissists primarily operate out of self-interest. The beldam wants her prey docile so she can feed freely. A person without social validation is an easy target for a spider lurking in the shadows. Othermother is so horrifying because she isn't far removed from reality. All of us have interacted with this type of person to some extent. Someone who is wonderful when you praise them, but malicious after being challenged. Without help, Coraline could have fallen for her enemy's tricks. By leaning on those she cares about, she defeats her abuser. So today, I want to break down Othermother's narcissistic personality disorder. Also, how our social resources can save us in times of trouble. If you enjoy this video, like and subscribe so you always see my latest content. Before we begin, it's important to remember, even though the film portrays good and evil as a binary, people with NPD are ultimately victims that need help. Recognizing narcissistic tendencies in a person takes an incredible amount of awareness. On the surface, the beldam seems like the perfect support system. If we compare her to Coraline's family, she seems like the obvious choice. Then there is the world she constructed. One feature of narcissism is delusions of grandeur. Many with NPD will create fictionalized manifestations of reality, exhilarating sights and sounds, gratification as far as the eye can see. How can Othermother be disordered? She seems competent, right? Well, let's take a closer look. Think about what the beldam looks like before and after she unveils herself. A charming woman with bright features and a wonderful smile transforms into something grotesque. But the noteworthy element is what prompts this change. Once our hero criticizes her fake parent, things become dicey. Othermother believes she's always in the right. Those that defy her will are met with harsh punishments. Coraline isn't the only victim. Otherfather is cast aside once he makes a simple mistake. NPD stifles the ability to empathize with another person. The beldam doesn't care about others' well-being, only her validation. The Black Cat tells Coraline that Othermother created everything, which makes you wonder, why doesn't she just make her false creation perfect? Mimicking real human connection isn't something easily replicated. Love and validation require more than just a husk. The antagonist ravenously searches for admiration. Everything she does subtly inflates her ego. When the girl in the yellow coat praises her food, you can see how she lights up. Laika Studios understand and depict narcissism exceptionally well. Little details really elevate the gravity of the situation. Othermother loves toying with her creatures. Her tapping fingers symbolize her conniving nature. Even the lightning strike in the background looks like her claw. When Othermother's plans fail, she becomes emotionally dysfunctional. Rather than act with reason, she resorts to violence. Her behaviors come from a sense of entitlement that's a key component of narcissism. Othermother believes she's a superior being that deserves special privileges. Think about how she treats her previous victims. All the children tell Coraline the beldam sucked out their souls. After they grew tired of inflating her ego, she stole everything from them. Narcissism has another flaw beside the need for constant validation. The beldam's downfall comes from her lack of perspective. Her gigantic ego prevents meaningful insight into the future. She never considered the fact that she could be beaten at her own game. Now that we've detailed some of Othermother's narcissistic ways, let's focus on the victims. Coraline is gaslit throughout the movie. When she wakes up from a dream, she has no idea where she is. The identical nature of all the characters is intentional. Not to mention, interacting with someone who can flip on a dime is a jarring experience. After a while, we begin to question what's real. Look at how sad the ghost kids seem. Imagine living your whole life for someone else. Any sign of disagreement is met with harsh backlash. Throughout the movie, we can see how frightening unchecked narcissism can be. Coraline experiences deep sadness when her enemy uses her parents as leverage. In the book, her creations are shown far more sympathy than in the film. They are suffering after she callously tosses them aside. We can appreciate as audience members the harms that come from a hyper-inflated ego. Coraline is so unnerving because the story is real in a lot of ways. A seemingly loving parent can exploit their child for personal gain. Illustrating the harms of NPD spreads meaningful awareness about symptoms we can be mindful of. What I find truly interesting is that Othermother could be a future version of Coraline. When she goes through the portal, she could be witnessing her life after maltreatment. Think about how all the changes are the ones that Coraline longs for in her current situation. YB doesn't talk. Other father gives her unlimited attention. Narcissism is a product of neglect or abuse. Our hero lacks a healthy environment. Most of the people in her life mistreat her, so she creates a fictionalized version of reality to cope. This could have been her future if she didn't have a little help. Coraline almost falls into the trap until her friends come to the rescue. One of my favorite themes in all the Laika movies is the value of companionship. At a glance, Othermother seems like an infinitely better friend. Would you rather have a buddy who makes extravagant dinners, or one who can't even remember your name? Although the humans have a trait that makes their friendship irreplaceable. Empathy is so important in healthy relationships. Listening to each other's problems can help in times of suffering. Practicing altruism improves our sense of self-worth. Othermother's unsightly appearance represents her insecurity. Spiders use webbing to ensnare their prey in a timely fashion. This tactic works great for hunting, but falls short when maintaining relationships. A healthy friendship requires empathy. Part of what makes the Otherworld so intoxicating is the lack of responsibility. Mom and dad don't have jobs. They could spend every waking second with Coraline. Her real parents ignore her while they focus on work. Then there's the social validation. People in Otherworld talk directly to our hero instead of treating her like a kid. People in this world go out of their way to make the house nice. Coraline isn't just a powerful story about narcissism, but also the dangers of neglect. Initially, our hero is shown little respect or appreciation. Othermother capitalizes on this insecurity, but part of the problem is the existence of the opportunity in the first place. Children need stimulation and social interaction, especially during development. Our childhood is arguably some of the most important years of our life. We learn how to engage with others, build trust, and create a sense of self. Initially, her friends aren't very supportive. Luckily, her buddies turn a new leaf. Without introspecting, Otherworld has way more to offer: an illustrious playground and seemingly perfect friends. But Coraline's other family has the Beldam's goals in mind. Other father doesn't care about her. YB's doppelganger isn't keeping quiet for her benefit. Empathy lets us grow in a way that's impossible to emulate. Mr. Bobo, Miss Spink, and Miss Forcible always had Coraline's best interest at heart. They warn her the danger is in her future if she continues down her current path. The retired performers offer her free counsel and tea when she's feeling sad. None of these actions are self-interested. They give their time and resources with no expectation in return. Otherworld offers a lot, but takes a heavy toll. Even though her friends aren't perfect, they are there when it counts. They go out of their way to replant their massive garden. Instead of acting out of pure self-interest, Coraline's family and friends consider her feelings. Part of the failure of the Otherworld is the lack of adaptation. Othermother never considers what her victims want. Social resources are so important, especially when dealing with abusive situations. Telling what's real or not alone is almost impossible. Without ample warning, Coraline could have fallen straight into Othermother's web of lies. Thanks for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Othermother is an important character for so many reasons. Abuse, gaslighting, and manipulation are topics that need mainstream coverage. Neglectful environments create the perfect opportunity for predators. Genuine friendships can alleviate this problem. Listening to those we love can help us develop over time. Sharing different trying experiences can offer us perspectives. Uplifting those around us lets us feel a sense of connectedness not present in Otherworld. Narcissistic personality disorder can have devastating consequences if left unchecked. The Beldam is easy to hate, but it's important to remember we all need love and empathy. What meaningful messages did you learn from Coraline? I'd love to hear from you.